morning, everyone, and welcome to the 13th Annual Vikes Championship Breakfast. I'm Erin Libert-Scott from Women's Soccer, and I'm here with Vaughn Taylor from the cross country and track team, and we're pleased to be your MCs today. This is the first time that the event is virtual, and by now we're all familiar with the pleasures of online meetings, so hopefully this goes smoothly.
The breakfast has raised over $5.4 million for student-athlete scholarships since 2008. This money is fundamental to facilitating athlete development and attracting new talent to keep the program growing. We would like to thank our event supporters team, Sales, Vancouver Island, RBC, and Tropicana, a division of PepsiCo North America. These companies have been longtime supporters of Vikes Athletics, and your continued support is appreciated.
We would also like to thank the University of Victoria for their ongoing support of the Vikes Championship Breakfast.
This year is unlike any other. But one thing has not changed, is our drive for excellence. Although there is no organized competition, the Vikes are making the most of the circumstances by using this year as an opportunity to focus on individual and team development.
The Vikes athletic program has by no means come to a halt, and we continue to seek support in these difficult times.
To start the event, we would like to acknowledge with respect to the Lekwungen peoples on whose traditional territory the university stands, and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanish peoples whose historical relationships with this land continue to this day. We now welcome Dr. Skip Dick from the First Peoples House to bring greetings on behalf of the Lekwungen peoples.
Good day, my friends. I want to make sure that you understand that this is not about me. This is about you, the students. We want to make sure that you're carrying yourself with good feelings, and I want to make sure that you understand that our Lekwungen people have 9 to 12 different communities in our territory in the Victoria area. We're called Coast Salish, but on the Vancouver Island we have on the west coast the Nuu-chah-nulth people, the folks up in the north, the Kwakwa people. And they all operate the same way with respect to our territories, our lands. There's no such a thing as a gray area. They just know who their families are, and they never tell one family what to do. They all encourage you. So what I'm saying is that you understand that I'm not telling you what to do. I'm encouraging you to understand that you don't have to give up your values just to come to school or come to more learning. And I wanted to say to you that for our Lekwungen territory, welcome to our territory.
Thank you, Dr. Dick, for the acknowledgement. It is so important to recognize the wonderful land, environment, and campus that we enjoy not only as students, but also as athletes. One of UVic's greatest features is its beautiful campus. And I know as a soccer player that we have the best fields in all of Canada. Next, we would like to introduce UVic's new president, Dr. Kevin Hall, for a welcome from the university.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure and indeed honor to welcome everyone on behalf of the University of Victoria. I'd first like to thank Dr. Skip Dick for his territorial acknowledgement. Today's MCs, Erin and Vaughn, our keynote speaker, UVic alumna from the women's basketball, Debbie Yeboah, and finally, to Clint Hamilton. You're pretty brave today, Clint, allowing me to say a few words while I still have my learner's permit as the president. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today with you, and when this video rolls, I'll be 5 days into my new position as the president of the University of Victoria. And this means it's also my first Vikes Championship Breakfast experience. It's incredible to see that the 13th annual breakfast is still taking place during these challenging times. Obviously, we all wish the circumstances were different this year, and I would have preferred to meet you all in person inside the Carsa Performance Gym. However, this pandemic has provided each of us with a new set of challenges, and I'm really pleased to see how you're tackling adversity head on. I'm truly excited to be here in Victoria. I'm someone who has had a lifelong commitment to a healthy lifestyle. The value that sport brings to individuals, to the communities, and to the nation is absolutely incredible. Whether you're a competitive athlete or a recreational participant, keeping active is an important part of our well-being. To our student athletes, keeping the tradition of the Vikes Championship Breakfast alive during these times is incredible recognition of the value that you bring to the university, one of the finest institutions in the country. We're in awe at the way you train to compete at the national level, and we all hope that your seasons eventually resume. Thank you for allowing me a few moments to speak to you this morning, and thank you for continuing to support this important fundraising event. Enjoy the rest of the virtual breakfast. Now, Clint, let me try this on for the first time. Go Vikes! See ya.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. The latter half of last season was impacted in ways we never could have expected, but we were still able to make many remarkable accomplishments. The Vikes hosted 4 national championships last season, including women's soccer, women's field hockey, rowing, and swimming. Whether we were at home or away, all of the Vikes competed hard, and we would like to mention a few highlights of the year.
Vaughan won gold in the men's 600-meter race at both the Canada West Championship and the U Sport National Championship for the track team. Isaac Koch was named Canada West Player of the Year after returning from an entire season off due to his knee surgery.
Women's field hockey won their 13th national championship on home turf. Anna Mollenhauer was awarded U Sport Championship MVP and became the 4th Vike to be named a top 8 academic All-Canadian.
From women's rowing, Piper Battersby and McKenna Simpson defended their national gold medal in the women's pair. Men's rugby also won their 3rd Canadian University National Championship on a frozen field in Montreal.
From men's swimming, Josh Zakala not only won gold in the 400-meter individual medley at U Sport Championship, but also set a U Sport record. That same weekend, Danielle Hannes for women's swimming capped off an incredible year with a meet for the ages. We'll hear more about her and her accomplishments later on.
Of course, these are only a few of the many outstanding achievements our student athletes made last season, and we would like to congratulate everyone on a great season. Last year's accomplishments were not exclusive to sports. We had 67 Vikes named academic All-Canadians, which is the most in Vikes history.
We would now like to introduce our Senior Director of Vikes Athletics and Recreation, Clint Hamilton, for more on the success of last year.
Thank you, Aaron and Vaughn. And may I extend a special thank you and welcome to Dr. Hall. And on behalf of all of us in Vikes Athletics and Recreation in our community, welcome to you, Vic, and we look forward to your leadership in the years to come. I also want to thank you as supporters. It's been wonderful to see yet another expression of support in this, our virtual format of the Vikes Championship Breakfast, as we come together to provide important financial support for our Vikes student athletes. It seems like just yesterday that we welcomed over 700 people to the McKinnon Gym for our first Vikes Championship Breakfast. And in that first year, we raised over $300,000. Since then, thanks to the outpouring of support from the community, our alumni, our supporters, the important match from the University of Victoria that has really fully leveraged that support from our community. This year, we hope to push past the $6 million mark. And of that amount, we will push past $1.5 million in endowment, which is just a wonderful legacy from the event, and all towards supporting our valued Vikes student athletes. It's wonderful this year to welcome Debbie Yeboah, Vikes alumna, to the Vikes Championship Breakfast. You know, Debbie in the early years of the Championship Breakfast was a beneficiary as a student athlete of the largesse of our community. She was a volunteer at the event, and she saw firsthand the impact of our community in supporting the Vikes. And it'll be wonderful to listen to Deb this morning speak about her experiences at a Vike and where that has taken her in her journey. Over the past few months, we've all been embracing and understanding and responding to a global pandemic. And I've been really proud of our Vike student athletes. Through these times, they've overcome disappointment with really a shared sense of purpose. They've showed tremendous resilience and responsibility as they've worked together to embrace the safety plans which have allowed us to have a reasonable return to sport. They've embraced personal and team development in newfound ways, and I've witnessed them working as hard as ever pushing themselves and their teammates, being ambassadors to the safety plans that are expected, and being leaders. And you know, many of them have overcome summers where work was disrupted, and in many ways, our 2020 version, this virtual Vikes Breakfast, there's never been a more important year to come together to support our Vikes student athletes. And I appreciate the efforts that are being made on a number of fronts to fully support our Vikes. So thank you. Thank you for your continued support, and I can assure you that that commitment to representing the University of Victoria by our Vikes student athletes is as strong as ever. And the commitment of that to grow our legacy remains strong. Thank you, stay well, and go Vikes.
Thanks, Clint. It's now time for our keynote portion of the breakfast. We would like to thank Team Sales Vancouver Island for supporting this segment.
The following message is from our official apparel supplier, Team Sales Vancouver Island.
Team Sales Vancouver Island is a locally owned business that is honored to be part of this year's virtual Vikes Championship Breakfast. Moreno Stefani, president and co-owner, was proud to wear the Vikes logo as a student athlete and now just as proud to provide the uniforms. Go Vikes!
Every year, we ask a notable member of the Vikes alumni family to tell us about their journey. We are excited to introduce our keynote speaker this year, Debbie Yeboah, who originally from Winnipeg, joined the Vikes basketball team in 2008, the same year the championship breakfast began.
In her 5 years with the Vikes, Debbie led her team to the playoff 4 times and was recognized as a multiple-time Canada West All-Star. After concluding her time with the Vikes, Debbie then went to play professional basketball for 2 years in Europe.
Debbie's abilities were not limited to sports. She is a high achiever in academics as well. Following her basketball career, Debbie had her eyes set on more success and returned to Canada to pursue her law degree. With more on her inspiring journey, here's Debbie.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, I guess, depending on when and where you are watching this. To those of you watching in Victoria, I wish so badly that I could be there in person, but I'm still so happy to be part of this event. My name is Debbie Yeboah, and it is my absolute honor to be your keynote speaker at the 13th Annual Vikes Championship Breakfast. You know, the very first time that I spoke at a Vikes event was actually in my first year. It was the Women's Basketball Alumni Evening, and at that time it was tradition to put the rookies on the spot. All the first years had to, one by one, stand up and give a little speech to answer the question, what does it mean to you to be a Vike? And now I wanted to stand out, so I decided that my speech would be in the form of a poem. And I actually still remember a couple of lines from it. It started like this. We run and we run and we run and we run. That's what Vikes do to have fun. We wake up early and we run some more. We run until even our clothing feels sore. We ran a lot when I played. Coach Brian Cheng always said he would make sure that we were a team that was in shape. And physically and mentally, it was very tough. But in the moments where I was sure that I was past the point of having nothing left, but was still asked to run one more line or hit one more shot, it was in those moments where I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life. My limits are not what I think that they are, and I can do more than I think I can do. Playing sports at a high level has taught me a lot of lessons like that. Lessons which have had a direct impact on any success I've been fortunate enough to have in other areas of my life. And donations from supporters like you have had a direct impact on my ability to play sports at a high level. Now, I know that you as supporters know that you're contributing to something good, but sometimes I feel like people who give don't truly realize the weight of their contributions. They don't truly recognize the impact of their generosity. You are doing even more good than you think you are doing. You are giving us more opportunities than you realize. Now, one of my favorite quotes of all time is this: success happens when hard work meets opportunity. Now, athletes, we are no strangers to hard work. Many of us spend our whole lives working as hard as we can to be the best we can be in our sport. But that is just one of the two things needed for success. You as donors, you give us the opportunity. And like I said, you give us even more opportunities than you realize. Now, I have to take a moment to say this, that when it comes to opportunities, we know that they are not always afforded to everyone, at least not in the same quality or quantity. And all too often, we see the availability of certain opportunities separated along racial, social, and economic lines. University sports is not immune to this disparity, and neither is the University of Victoria. The truth is that there are people who work extremely hard, but find their hard work is in vain because they are not afforded opportunity. But I think that universities can and will grow in inclusivity, and I think that university sport in general and UVic in particular have an important role to play in leading that change. I think that Vikes Athletics can have a huge impact on ensuring that Black, Indigenous, and minority students have the same opportunities as others, and making sure that Black, Indigenous, and minority students can feel at home at UVic and not just like they're one in a million. Now, I am thankful I'm thankful that I was one of those people who UVic gave an opportunity. And I'm confident that UVic will give this kind of opportunity to many more people like me. Now, for me, there is no way I would have ever been able to go to UVic without a scholarship. I could not have afforded tuition, books, rent, groceries, and flights. Maybe one of those things, but definitely not all of them at the same time. Without a scholarship, I may have stayed at home in Winnipeg for university so that I could live at home with my parents and cut costs that way. And to be honest, I think that would have not been bad. I love my hometown, and I eventually ended up moving back. It's where I am now. But having had the chance to move away from home at 17 years old gave me the opportunity to learn a lot about myself. I learned that I love meeting new people and creating a new community in a new place. I learned to take care of myself in many ways because Mom wasn't around. And I learned that I really love flying. Yes, I am one of those people who actually likes planes and airports. And I know that I'm a basketball player, but I'm one of the few who can fit comfortably into an Air Canada economy seat. I just would not have had the opportunity to learn and grow in that way if I had stayed home. So, thank you for that opportunity. But it's more than that, because being a student athlete at UVic led me to playing professional basketball in Germany. When I was in my 5th and final year, a coach from a team in Germany reached out to my coach at UVic asking if she knew of a scoring guard who could be a vocal leader who might want to play professionally overseas. Now, this coach in Germany was a Vikes women's basketball alumni, and as it turned out, whenever she had a spot open for a foreigner or a professional, she asked at her old university first. So I sent her some stats and some game tape, and she invited me to come out. And then I signed my first ever professional contract. And I have to say that living and playing in Germany was a dream. I got to be immersed in a different culture, learn a new language. I got to travel. I got to be on planes. And I got to get paid to play my favorite sport. And now I forever get to put professional athlete under previous employment on my resume. Playing professionally in Germany was an opportunity afforded to me not only because I was a university athlete, but specifically because I went to the University of Victoria. So thank you for that opportunity. But it's more than that, because experiences that I had at UVic and in Germany helped to make me a competitive applicant for law school. Yes, as it turns out, law school admissions committees love applicants who have traveled and have experienced different cultures and have done different things that could broaden their horizons. Part of the law school application is to write a personal statement, which is a brief introduction of yourself and why you think you could contribute to a student body at a faculty. Now, I wrote mine mainly about moving away from home, first to Victoria, then to Germany, and what I learned through those experiences. I got into 4 law schools and decided to go to McGill University. I just graduated last December. And when people ask me what law school was like, I always say that it was like a roller coaster, full of ups and downs and fear and joy. But overall, joy. And in the times where it was most difficult, where I had what seemed like an insurmountable mountain of readings and assignments to do, I remembered what I learned as a Vike. My limits are not what I think that they are. I can do more than I think I can do. And that lesson pulled me through. I feel so fortunate to have been a law student at McGill. So thank you for that opportunity. But it's more than that, because of course I have to mention the most obvious opportunity given to us through your support. And that is the opportunity to compete at the highest level of university sport in the country. You know, I actually remember the last couple of lines from the poem I said to the alumni on that evening in my first year. I ended by saying this: playing my favorite sport with people I really like. That's what it means to me to be a Vike. Now, even if it was just that, even if your support only gave us the opportunity to play the sports we love with people we love, that would make your support more than worthwhile. The years I spent playing basketball at the University of Victoria were some of the best of my life, and now that I've been retired for 5 years, they are often what I refer to as the glory days. Know that if it was just the opportunity to play my favorite sport at a high level in a community like this one, that was truly an amazing gift that created an immeasurable amount of joy in my life. So thank you for that opportunity. And now, as I speak of the community, I want to take a moment to mention Colleen Hirschfield, an important member of the Vikes community and a friend of mine who recently passed away. Colleen, meals that I shared with you and your husband, Rob, inspire me to be a better cook. And your love and generosity inspire me to be a better person. You will be missed. May you rest in perfect peace. Now, the support of people like Colleen Hirschfield and people like you has given me the opportunity to move away from home, to become a professional athlete, to attend one of what I think is the best law schools in the country. But my story is just one of many. For others, your support has given them the opportunity to pursue their dreams, to become teachers, coaches, start businesses, become Olympians. It's building leaders. It's changing communities. It is truly giving us the opportunity that we need to succeed. So, Vikes student athletes, past, present, and future, continue to work hard. There are people who care about making sure that your hard work is not in vain. And when given opportunity, take full advantage, remembering that you can do more than you think you can do. And when you do succeed, find a way to give back. And supporters, past, present, and future, thank you. If success is when hard work meets opportunity, then know you have contributed to the success of many by providing amazing opportunities and even more than you know. So thank you for the opportunities, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you here today. Enjoy the rest of your virtual breakfast, and as always, go Vikes go.
Thanks, Debbie, for those motivating words and for your great contribution to the Vikes program. Next up is our Student Athlete Spotlight, supported by RBC. We would now like to take a short break to share this message from RBC.
It starts as a game. Then it becomes a way of life. Now, because of RBC Training Ground, you're on the world stage. Sign up for free at rbctrainingground.ca.
Entering the 2019-2020 swimming season, Danielle Hannes was a favorite to clean up at the Canada West meet and contend at the Youth Sport Championship. Little did we know that she would also sweep the podium in the individual events at the national level as well.
At the Canada West Championships, Danielle won 6 medals, 4 being gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. She set 3 Canada West records and was named Canada West Swimmer of the Year.
At nationals in her home pool, she continued on to win 4 more individual golds, a bronze in the relay, and set a youth sport record. To top it all off, she shared the Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year award with Anna Mollenhauer from field hockey.
Needless to say, she was on top of her game with Olympic trials right around the corner. Unfortunately, the coronavirus took over the world and has hit pause on her Olympic dreams. But let's hear more on how she's able to overcome these obstacles and stay focused on her academics and athletics during the shutdown.
Georgia Kidd currently in second spot for lane number 3, but it is Hanus looking for her 4th individual gold medal of the 2020 Youth Sports. Into the finish, it is Danielle Hanus at 2:11 flat, and that time is a new Youth Sports record for Danielle Hanus.
After the shutdown occurred, definitely the decisions I had to make were probably what would still help me in the future of my sport, in this case swimming, and finding ways to still train at home even though the pool is closed and the gyms are closed, and not being in close contact with friends who are going to push you through the hard practices. And I ended up not being in the pool for so long, and that was a really weird sensation, being out of the pool for 4 months, and that hasn't really happened in over a decade for me of swimming. Not being in the gym and lifting weights was really weird, so obviously kind of had to get creative at home and see what I could make up there and whatever weights I could pick up, even if it was textbooks or a bag of flour. At Olympic trials, I was expecting myself to perform fairly well. I was really looking forward to the event, as were all my teammates, and going into Olympic trials, knowing that you have a shot at the Olympic team is always really cool and really interesting, but at the same time really scary, because it's like, wow, you have all these people watching you, but at the same time it's like once every 4 years you just kind of have to go for it. Then we found out that they were going to postpone trials until June to see maybe this will all clear up in a couple months. Then we found out that the Canadian Olympic team was pulling everyone out of Tokyo, and that was a pretty devastating blow because we've all worked so hard, and finding out something that your dream is just being taken away from you in the split second. But we understood the decision. It ended up working out because they ended up postponing the games until next year, so it just gives me more time to train. My goals for the future, 2020, 2021, are definitely looking forward for academically, going into law school, practicing and working through that, and graduating from my undergrad. And athletic goals would definitely be obviously Tokyo 2021, qualifying and competing, representing Canada in that. The VCB is an immense and huge support to all the athletes. It helps financially with either the small things like travel, uniforms, equipment, or even just like the larger things, having not to worry about school and paying for school, and having to worry about the cost of, oh, am I going to make rent, or am I going to be able to buy food? Or it doesn't matter what sport you're in, where you come from, it helps each individual athlete pursue both their goals in the classroom and in the training environment, whether you're in the pool, on the field, on the track, or running cross country. It helps in so many different aspects that narrowing it down just to one thing isn't really feasible.
Thanks, Danielle, and congratulations on all your accomplishments, both athletically and academically during this pandemic. We would now like to take some time to acknowledge the members of our Vikes family who have passed away this year.
Derek Hutchison,
Megan Dalziel,
Eli Pasquale,
Cord Clemens,
Jamie Trainer,
Jennifer Budding,
Jack McLaren,
Howard Gerwing,
Keith Myers,
Robert Blades,
David Ravenhill,
Edward Kowalik,
James Hawthorne. It is always difficult to say goodbye to former Vikes, especially when this year has already been so challenging. If nothing else, this year has made us more aware of how grateful we are to be a part of the Vikes family. We are so thankful to be a part of an incredible program that is so much more than just sport.
As we continue to train despite the circumstances, we remember that sport is a privilege, and we certainly do not take for granted the opportunities that wouldn't be possible without this breakfast. To show our appreciation for everything that we have been able to accomplish over the past 13 years, here's a video from our fellow Vikes.
This segment is supported by Tropicana, a division of PepsiCo North America.
I love orange juice.
Thank you for your devotion to the Vikes Championship Breakfast. Your thoughtful support helps us on and off the golf course.
Thank you to our amazing donors for your continuous support during these unprecedented times. Please enjoy your virtual breakfast. Cheers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ada Konko, a member of the Vikes women's rugby team. On behalf of my teammates and I want to say a big thank you for your donations. They've meant so much to us and they've helped us empower each other on and off the field. We hope you remain a strong member of the UVic community, and thanks so much again for your donations. Have a great day. I'm going to run off and have my breakfast now.
From Vikes Men's Rowing, thank you for all of your donations.
Your donations allow us to open up opportunities that we never would have thought possible.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Vikes Championship Breakfast is very important to us Vikes, and it is all of your kind contributions that make it a success. Thank you to all our donors for allowing us to dream big, play the sport we love, make meaningful connections, and pursue our educational goals while being the best student athlete we can be. We really appreciate it.
Hey there, hope you're having a swell morning. Although this year's been a bit rocky as swimming and sports and schools start to get going, we just wanted to thank you all for your support during these strange times. Hope the rest of your day goes swimmingly.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah and I'm a 5th year on the UVic women's basketball team, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your donations. It means a lot to all of us. I hope you guys have a really great breakfast, and I really hope to see you guys out in the stand sometime soon. Okay, bye!
Hi everyone, my name is Mostyn, and I would just like to extend a huge thank you on behalf of the Vikes men's rugby program. Your support does not go unappreciated or unnoticed, so thank you for being here. Cheers.
Thank you to our donors for your continued support. Your generosity has helped us pursue athletic excellence.
Thank you for supporting the Vikes Athletics. Because of your generous support, we are able to combine academics and athletics at the highest possible level. We are very grateful for your generous donations and the Vikes community. Guten Appetit!
On behalf of the Vikes women's field hockey team, I'd like to say thank you to all the generous sponsors and donors for helping to relieve our financial stress so that we can focus on the sport that we love.
Hi there, my name is Evan Libke. I'm the captain of the men's soccer team here at UVic. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for your ongoing and continuous support of our program. Without donors like you, my teammates and I would be stuck worrying about our finances rather than focusing on our athletics and academics. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who supported the Vikes Championship Breakfast this year. Your support has allowed me to grow as a swimmer and a student for the past 3 years.
Thanks everyone for your donations this year's championship breakfast. The men's basketball team really appreciates it, more so this year than ever, and we're really happy we can continue to train, and we can't wait to get back on the court and play some games whenever that may be. So thanks again.
Good morning! Thank you so much for your support. Your contribution has given us the opportunity to grow with the Vikes and stay involved in varsity sports. We here at the Vikes are wishing you the best to wherever you're eating breakfast this morning.
Well, that was something.
As you can see from everything this morning, your support is incredible and it goes a long way. We would like to remind everyone that although the breakfast is coming to a close, donations are still accepted and can be made at any time at govikesgo.com/breakfast. Be sure to check out our Vikes social media accounts later to see the final amounts raised by this year's breakfast.
We heard some motivating words from incredible people this morning, and would like to thank everyone that was involved in making today's event possible. We would like to extend thanks to the University of Victoria for their ongoing support of the Vikes Championship Breakfast.
We would also like to thank our event supporters, Team Sales Vancouver Island, RBC, and Tropicana, a division of PepsiCo North America. And of course, we cannot forget to acknowledge you, our donors, and the supporters of the Vikes Athletic program. We thank you. We had a great time being your host this morning, and we hope you had as much fun as we did.
Before we hand it over to Dr. Nick Clark, our new Director of Varsity Performance Sport, we would like to recognize the efforts of all the Vikes athletes and our coaching staff that are working even harder during these difficult times. It is inspiring to see such creativity when it comes to finding new ways to train.
Everyone has met the circumstances with such optimism and is doing a great job adjusting to the challenges of modified training and online classes. With your support, we as Vikes athletes have something to fight for and keep us going. We greatly appreciate your support this far. Thank you for allocating time out of your day to be here with us. Stay safe, and remember, we're stronger together. Now here's Nick.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's well and you've enjoyed this morning's events. For those who don't know me, my name is Nick Clark. I'm the Director of Varsity Performance Sport at Vikes. Some people might recognize me because I've been the strength and conditioning coach at Vikes since 2017. So as we wrap up the 13th Annual Championship Breakfast, I just want to give a massive thank out to all our supporters and donors. I really want to thank our new student MCs. This is the first time we've ever used student MCs. And I think Erin and Vaughan, you've done an amazing job. So thank you so much for your effort in putting this together. I'd also like to thank everybody who's pulled together the Championship Breakfast over the last few months. Particularly, I'd like to thank Dr. Kevin Hall for being on there, but also the university for supporting our program. It's important to acknowledge the effect of COVID that's had on our program. And I really want to thank our coaches, our staff for pulling together all the safe work plans that allows us to train. Obviously, we're not competing right now, which is very disappointing for all of us. And a number of seasons have been cancelled. But I really want to thank the student athletes for their resilience, as well as all the coaches. And just a reminder to all the donors out there that we still require your support, even though we're not lining up against UBC or playing Fraser Valley right now. Athletes want to compete, but they still require your support to be good academics and good athletes. So as we wrap it up, I just want to say a big shout out to all our Vikes family and thank you so much for all your continued support to everyone. Have a good day and go Vikes.